Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Star Wars Galaxy of Sounds. This is another Star Wars thing because we're in the middle of a Star Wars celebration, and I've only got a little bit of time in the day to do this. I want to get back out on the floor, so right now I'm just doing some short ones. And that's what we're going to do this weekend. We did Kenobi yesterday, and today we have Galaxy of Sounds. This is a series of shorts. It's so far one season. They say it's from 2021, and it is something unlike anything else we have on not just Disney Plus, but for Star Wars. This is all about the sound. And also the visuals, I mean, the visual effects, but it is a galaxy of sounds. So the focus is on, obviously, sound. Imagine all the Star Wars films and shows that you love up through the second season of Mandalorian. The Book of Boba Fett is not included in this or anything after that. Uh, so we got all three trilogies. We got all the live action shows. No Clone Wars or Rebels or things like that. This is all about the Foley work and the creature sounds and all the other stuff that's done to flesh out, to fill out the every single nook and cranny of this world, this galaxy that we visit so often. And but imagine all the dialogue stripped away. Imagine all the music of John Williams and others stripped away. This is something unique. So, like movies that I've seen endless times over the years are represented here in a way I'm hearing them in a way I haven't heard them before. And I want to, before I go any further, I want to make sure if you watch this, or listen to this, even if you can enjoy this with your eyes closed if you want to, but it's best to put it on if you got the biggest screen you got. Um, Put it with the best sound system you've got, or put on headphones. That's the very first thing you should do when you're doing this. Don't bring the volume down, don't wake the baby or whatever. Make sure you're in a situation where you don't need to crank it, but make it sure that you can hear every single little thing, because no matter how many times you've seen these movies, there's going to be things you've never heard before, and or things that you've heard so many times that you took for granted that are wholly unique to Star Wars. There's other shows and movies that have borrowed these sounds, in video games as well, that have borrowed these sounds throughout the decades, throughout the last 45 years or so. But nobody does it quite like the sound and visual people of the Star Wars galaxy, ILM and Skywalker Sound and everything else. Of course, led originally by Ben Burt, and there's Matthew Wood, and there's so many others. Each episode is a little tribute to them. You can see watch the credits at the end. It gives a little thank you to everybody, and then shows you all the people who've contributed to these sounds over the decades. And they are themed. There's 7 episodes. They're about 8 minutes long each, and they're literally a solid 8. There's no, oh look, it's 4 minutes, but 3 minutes of foreign credits. No, it's a full, almost 7 to 8 minutes, depending on the thing. And there's only a tiny bit of credits at the end because there is literally no dialogue, so there's nothing to translate. This is good for everybody who loves Star Wars, no matter what language you speak. There's no translation needed. It's a lot of these are thematically, like I said, they're thematically set apart from each other. The first one is wonder, so you get the sounds of wonder of the and this is all done without John Williams soundtrack, and you're like, how can that be? Because John Williams is so essential to the sound of Star Wars. Even films that weren't composed by him, like Rogue One and Solo, they still borrow on themes, at least a tiny bit. That's different points from John Williams because he is so intrinsic to this. But there's no John Williams in this, and even when the great thing is that if you're a big Star Wars fan like I am, and you know where certain notes come in, you'll find yourself singing those notes, humming those notes as you're watching this, as certain things connect, even the scenes you recognize as you're watching this, and hear things with all the music stripped away. So it's like, for me, I've seen, Obi-Wan, he's trying to take down the tractor beam on the Death Star, and he's always made a little gesture to make a sound to distract the stormtroopers so they can catch him. Well, I know I've heard the sound before, but I never heard it so clearly. It's such a slight thing, but they're like, "Oh, what was that?" And they look away. But we won't hear them say that because again, there's no dialogue. The closest thing you come to dialogue in this is alien languages or Grogu just making little baby noises, or Ewok singing, or Jawas, Udini, things like that. You'll hear that, but there's no actual dialogue. No, it's not meant to hold to a specific scene. But like I said here, when it's set to thematic things like excitement or dark side and the light side, so you can literally hear the difference between dark side characters, how they're presented sonically, and also visually. It's obvious to us that we take it for granted, but it's light and dark are presented on the screen so completely differently, even down to the slightest difference in the sound of their lightsabers, not just between Rey's and Kylo Ren's, but down to Vader's and Obi-Wan's in the first film. It's just, there's a difference. There's a different bit of hum to it. Then we have beeps, of course, it deals with the droids, and we get connections. This one is special because they all do this, but you can see how specific scenes are tied together visually, people accepting a lightsaber, or meetings for the first time, like when Wicket meets Leia on Endor for the first time. That's the first thing you see in that episode. And you hear the sounds that go on between them, not just them, but the forest around them. You hear it in such depth when you strip away everything else. It's really neat, and you get to see not just connections within the films, but across films and thematic loops throughout everything. And of course, the very last one is oddities. So it's sort of like a mishmash of everything, but it's mainly the sound of creatures. And this is for anybody who loves the creatures that there's always a scene in a Star Wars trilogy film, and the other ones too, where the characters step into a wretched hive of scum and villainy of sorts. That was set up originally in the original Star Wars A New Hope, but when they walked in the cantina in Mos Eisley. But you get one of those scenes in every film. It's a must-have. They stitch all of those together, and you can hear the differences and the similarities between each and every one of the films. You get to hear the sounds of so many of the different creatures as they're speaking to each other, as they're just grunting. Maybe that's ultimate language. I don't know, but you hear all that stuff as you can see how newer films were inspired by the older films, and it's just beautifully done, beautifully edited together. But again, the focus is on the sound. Get your headphones in, crank up the TV if you can. Movie theaters thing, if you got it, do it, crank it up. But yeah, Oddity is also, like I said, it's mainly about creatures communicating, but also mainly about them eating. There's a lot. The very first thing you see is Grogu taking his shot at eating a frog and grossing out the kids, and there's everything, the OPC monster and in the Otogunga trying to eat the bongo, and there's of course Jar Jar trying to eat stuff, and just you get this is every single type of creature who's ever eaten something. Jabba grabbing the thing from his bowl and shoving it in his mouth in Return of the Jedi. All that stuff is in there. It's really great. So yeah, I've oversold this, but it's one of these little hidden gems. I mean, you can love the movies and watch the movies over and over again if you're like me and never get tired of them. But there's these little gems here on Disney Plus are just fantastic. So highly recommend it. Check it out. That's all I really can say about that. So we're gonna make it just as easy. Tomorrow we're gonna watch Star Wars Biomes. And that is like an 18-minute or so short, and it explores the worlds, sort of an ASMR. I don't know how that acronym goes, but either way, we get to explore the environments, the atmospheres of certain planets, and even I think a star destroyer. We'll see. Unless we've done it already. Dang it! Now I realize maybe we already did watch it. I don't know. I've seen it before, but I don't know if we've talked about it here yet. If so, I'll be back in a second and I'll pick something else. But other than that, tomorrow, Star Wars Biomes on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.